Hello world, what's up? What's shaking? Huh? How are you doing? How are you doing? Yeah. Oh, you know about Murphy's Law that states when something is going to go bad, it is going to go bad at the worst moment, when you fear it the most. So I got some time to fire up a couple of the old machines that I got from last May, early June, right before I had all this trouble with my leg and the doctors. And you know, I wanted to show this a long time ago, but yeah, here's the Commodore 128 that I got back in May. But unfortunately, apart from a brief moment when I tested it, I basically turned it on to see that it was functional. I didn't have any time to play any games or to do anything with it. So today I finally got the time to test some floppies that the seller bundled with the machine, and lo and behold, the image was all garbled up, and there appears to be some problem with the VIC chip or the video memory or something. I don't know. I don't have any sufficient technical knowledge, and I don't know these machines at all. So here's what happened. I searched a little around the internet, and apparently it's either the VIC chip, which can be responsible for all sorts of video problems, or the video controller, the RAM chips, some RAM chips, and the problem is persistent in both 64 and 128 modes. So it's not only, sometimes I checked from other users that had similar problems on the forums, that sometimes it's this happens only in 128 mode. But in my case it happens when I switch to 64 mode. The problem persisted. I mean, the background perimetrically is okay, but inside the main area the characters are all garbled, but I also found out that the keyboard was unresponsive, and when I tried to manually type Go 64 or Go 128 to change modes. It didn't happen. I had to hold the Commodore key and to switch on and off the machine to switch modes, which didn't, which actually didn't always succeed. So maybe there's some problem with the keyboard connector as well. I don't know, and I don't want to open the machine up and to start poking around, because I'm afraid that will make things worse. So I don't know, I won't deal with this problem right now, but it's a little disappointing. Fortunately, I also got two C64 machines, the C variant, the later ones with the modern case, not the bread bins, and those are acting fine, and perhaps I will play some games from the floppies that came with the machine. And yeah, I also got some old PCs. One of these is this old laptop, which is a 486 machine. Yeah, here it is. The keyboard and the floppy. It's monochrome displayed, so it displays white black text on white background. It has a 250 megabyte hard disk. I think it has 4 or 8 megabytes of RAM. It's a pretty nifty machine. It's a little dirty. It's you know, there is all this grime from I think it's mold or something, but with a little cleaning it will go away. It's a nice machine. Only for 20 bucks. I got this for 20 bucks. And these machines don't have any. They stay up in the, you know, in the auctions and ad sections for a long time, and nobody buys them because apparently they are not very hot like other, you know, famous retro machines. And I also got this. I had posted to me by the Netherlands. I got it from eBay for 40 bucks, and it's a beautiful machine. I always wanted to get one of these. It's extremely beautiful. It's this one, the Philips VG2080. It's an MSX machine. It's very nice, very clean, not a scratch apart from a small scratch over here, but it's very clean, you know. I love this, you know, this port for the cartridges. The keyboard is very nice. I gave it a go last night, and it plays alright. I don't have any cassettes or software to test it with, but it's beautiful. It's much more attractive than the Commodore machines. It's one of the most attractive 8-bit machines that I've ever seen. And I always wanted to get an MSX machine. And actually I was very pleased with the basic editor. The basic editor is very friendly, and this implementation is how it's supposed to be. Not like the traumatic experience that one has when he attempts to program with BASIC on the Commodore. Of course, for the Commodore there were other Simon's BASIC and other machines, and anyway, most people program with assembler to get the most out of the machine and to speak directly to the hardware. Anyway, yeah, apparently the old machines can get very tricky. You know, this thing with the Commodore 128 was certainly unexpected, and it goes to show that these old machines need to be taken care of, and sometimes they are very sensitive, and a lot of things can go wrong. What else? Yeah, a friend of mine wanted to get rid of some old magazines, and which came with old PC games, and I told him that I will get them out of his hands. So they are interesting games. There's perhaps a dozen of them. So here it is, King's Quest 8. I believe it's an action adventure in the vein of the old King's Quest games from Sierra. This is Sacrifice, which I have no idea what it is. This one I think it's familiar to everyone from the Amiga days. It's Kickoff 2, and it's a game along with Sensible Soccer. I think they were the most popular football games from the time. Heroes 3, it's a strategic game. Yeah, this one is a game that I played before. It's Sudeki, a nice action adventure. Actually, I had this on my original Xbox. Another classic one is Deus Ex. What's this? Oh, Arx Fatalis, which I think it's an action RGB, action RPG. Sorry. This is Wizards and Warriors. I have no clue what this is. This is Gore. I think it's an FPS. It's a Quake-like game. This one's Vampire the Masquerade. Redemption. Which, again, I have no idea what it is. Dark Reign 2. A real-time strategy game. Praetorians, which is another strategy game. I believe it is a precursor to the Total War game series. And finally, Siberia 2. It's an adventure game. It's the second chapter of a very nice adventure by a French developer. I don't remember the name, but I played the first chapter, the first game, and it's very atmospheric, very interesting. It has a very interesting story. So yeah, these are some of the games that I got from my pal, and yeah, let me put them back in their place. And so yeah, this weekend, fortunately I don't have any work to do this month has been very hectic, because as soon as the guys from work came back from their vacation, all the clients started to demand new stuff, and so a lot of work has been piling up from the early days of summer, and we are scrambling to catch up with work. And fortunately, this is the first weekend I have free to try tidy up my room, and to figure out where I will put all this, especially the old systems that I'm collecting gradually. And what else? Yeah, in the meantime, I also got a couple of other old systems, game consoles this time. I got which are okay. They are very commonly found. They are not something special. I got a Sega Mega Drive, the second model, not the original one. And what else? I have it here, I think. Let me check. I'm sorry about this. And I got this. I think I found it on a good price. It's the Sega Saturn. And I've always been intrigued by this console. Even more so than the Mega Drive. It's a rather obscure console, but I think it has some good games, especially beat 'em ups. Of course, I don't have any games for it, but I will look out for them. So yeah. And also I'm bargaining for a Dreamcast and a couple of handhelds. We'll see how that goes in the following days. What else? I remember I had something else to show you, but I can't remember right now. Anyway, yeah, that's the deal here. I don't have anything else to show you. Oh, I also got this, this nice slim laptop from Toshiba. It runs Windows 2000. It's from the early 2000s. It's a Portage 3480 CT. It's a very nice slim machine. It doesn't have an optical drive, but it's a very handsome machine, very nice. It outputs to VGA. Of course the battery is dead, but that's to be expected in such old machines. Yeah, so I'm trying to build up a small collection of old machines. Of course, this one can be cannot exactly be categorized in the retro ecosystem. It cannot. You can't call it really a retro machine, but yeah. So I'm trying to build up this this small retro collection, and I've seen a couple of deals on some Amigas, an Amiga 600, and also another model, which I'm not going to tell you right now because I don't want to jinx it. Yeah, I'm not superstitious, but I want it to be a surprise, because I believe it is a rather rare model. So hopefully within the next couple of days I will have good news, and I will be one step closer to actually doubling the amount of Amiga computers that I own. I have, for those who have seen previous videos of mine, I have an Amiga 500, the first model, and the first revision of the model, and an Amiga 2000. So I'd like to get the 600, which is relatively easy to find on auctions and on the eBay and on forums. The 1200 is a tricky machine to find, and actually I'm thinking of getting a neat motherboard, just the motherboard for this machine, and to make a tower machine, a 1200 of my own, because I can find motherboards on the loose for 50-60 bucks. Because whenever I enter an auction, a bidding on the 1200, prices can go north of 300 bucks, and it's crazy. I'm not willing to give so much money for this machine. And I'd rather save some money if I want to buy a powerful Amiga. There are these accelerator cards that latch on the main the processor, and I think where I've seen this on the internet, there's I think it's called Vampire 2, and it's a board that latches on the 16,000 processor of the Amiga 600. It upgrades it to a 68040. It also has an HDMI output, and it's a really powerful accelerator board. But it costs, I think it costs 175 euros. So I'd rather get one of these than an Amiga 1200. Yeah, I've been also looking for an Amiga CD32, but at the end of the day, it's very expensive to find one, through the regular channels, through eBay and so. you have to be very lucky, because as soon as someone posts an auction for these machines, you have a bidding war on your hands from the get-go. So I'm not willing to spend 300 and 350 euros on a console which is hardware-wise it's rather powerful. I mean, it matches the hardware of the 1200, but I don't know. It's very. I've seen it from up close, and it's so cheap. So the plastics are cheap, and yeah, what can you do with it? I mean, you have to be loaded with cash to start getting all these machines, just to be a completionist. Because, okay, I am keen on getting a nice collection, but I'm not that hardcore. You know what I mean? And oh yeah, another machine that I'm looking for. It's not something, you know. There are some rare machines that are not actually valuable machines. That they are more obscure and more. They flopped commercially back in their day. But still, I have an affinity for such machines, because they are. They may not be so valuable from a collector's standpoint, but I want to have them because they are beautiful machines. They are something you don't see every day. Not many people deal with these machines, and I think it's a nice addition to my hardware collection. And this particular machine comes from an Italian company called Olivetti. I don't remember it's called 128 something. It's Prodest 128. It's an obscure 8-bit machine with integrated tape recorder in the vein of Amstrad CPC computers. But not many programs came for it, and you have to search a little on the internet to find stuff, technical information and software. Yeah. What else? So these are the developments, the latest developments, and yeah, I'm still a little bothered about this Commodore 128, because I love this machine. I always wanted to have one, and all of a sudden this thing happens with you know, the display, and now I'm looking for a way to fix it, and you know, it's been edgy. It's been a long time, more than 10 years that I dealt with you know, tinkering with circuit boards and soldering and stuff. I haven't touched a soldering iron for ages. Maybe it's time to to take them out of the closet, and yeah, we'll see. Maybe I will fix it, maybe I will destroy it, who knows. But yeah, that's it for now. Take care of yourselves, and have a nice one.